I ain't seen that. Howdy, everybody. Welcome back to the Hotspur Hood. We've all had our pancakes. I hope you have too. We have, as you can see, a plethora of fine guests today. Please do the normal crack, whether you're watching right now. We get a lot of people watching the recording now. So, yeah, normal crack, sub, like, bell. We've got super chats on too. I'm going to put Haas straight on the spot here. Are you confident in beating Chelsea next Sunday after we downed West Ham? That is putting someone on the spot because that's usually what we leave to the end of the.
All right, cool. No worries.
End of the stream. Cool. No, I'm not asking for a predicted result or anything like that. But yes, are you confident going into the Chelsea game now?
I'm not going to give you a scoreline, but all I'm going to say is we've been here so many times when we've had a result, and then we're like, next week, we're going to do them next week, and then it's like, yeah, we're going to do them. No, I'm not buying into the hype this time round. I'm not doing it. I'm not willing to do it. Chelsea are Chelsea at the end of the day, okay? We haven't scored against Chelsea at home, by the way, since we've moved into the new ground. So that's another thing that we need to break. But it's going to be a tough one, I think, because they need points on the board. They're like 10th in the table. And historically, no matter where Chelsea are, even if they're having a crap season, they'll give us a tough game. And I think this one's going to be no different, to be honest with you. We'll do the Spursy thing, right? And I don't like using that word, but I will use it, Spursy, and we'll do a Dr. Tottenham on them. It would just be typical, right? They need points. They've been playing shit, and you know someone's going to get their first goal against us. It's inevitable. It's always
right.
It's his first goal against Tottenham.
This has blown my mind. Perchy. Were you aware of this statistic? We have not scored against Chelsea at home, not at Stamford Bridge, at home since the new stadium. Were you aware of that?
I'm not, but I'm not shocked by it. I mean, we just struggle against Chelsea. It doesn't matter how good they are or how bad we are or how good we are and how bad they are. We lose them all the time. Just to sort of follow on what Haz was saying, the thing is, I look at it and go, can we beat Chelsea? Yeah. Can we lose against Chelsea? Yes. So it's a weird one. It's going to be a weird one. We're either going to sack Graham Potter or he's going to go on a resurgence and then they're going to somehow finish above us this season and get into the Champions League or compete with Liverpool to get there. So it goes one of two ways. Wins, I've been saying for ages, I don't care at the moment because we're not consistent enough. As I said this again when we beat Man City, everyone got all excited and crazy. We then got battered to Leicester. We then want to beat West Ham. Everyone's gone crazy. We'll probably lose to Chelsea. So that's how my sort of mentality's been with it for a while now.
It's not like we've turned a corner, is it, Perchy? Like it's not like we've had 4 or 5 great results. We've turned the corner. We've literally won one game after a terrible run of form against West Ham.
We lost to Milan last Tuesday, and that was not a good Milan team. We didn't even score. And now 4-1 to Leicester. 4-1 to Leicester the week before. So
I think your answer would have been different, Tommy, if if we're coming off the back of like 4 or 5 wins, and next up is Chelsea. But it's not been like that. Sorry to interject, but I just thought I'd get that out.
Just to jump in, it's 5-2 now, by the way.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
We've got updates, man. That's a good thing. We've got a few people in the chat. When you've got a few people in the chat, you get the updates. So cheers, guys. 5-2. That's game over. That's game over.
That's crazy. They were 2-0 up.
5-2 now.
Yeah, they were 2-0 up.
What's the crack with Diaz and Jota? Because I'm out of the.
Isn't Jota injured?
Injured.
Yeah.
Jota's just been subbed on.
Problem is, guys, and I guess we'll talk about this later. That means that Liverpool don't have to concentrate on Europe, and they're starting to get some wins together in the Premiership. And they could be only 2 points or 1 point behind us if they win their games in hand.
Oh no, they will be. Liverpool will finish above us this season. Yeah. I hate to jump ahead of that, but they will.
But going back to Chelsea, actually Lamela did score for us. When we played him in the League Cup game, when there's no fans during COVID, I think he got an equaliser about 5 minutes to go.
Oh yeah,
and then we
but not in the league, obviously. I think that's
no. We certainly haven't scored against them at home.
Reserved for the league.
No.
Yeah.
And I think we played them 3 times with a full crowd. I think we lost a League Cup game, a league game, or 2 league games and 1 League Cup game there, I think. But well, you know me, or if you don't, I'm very much a law of averages guy. So if I see that we haven't beaten Chelsea for so many matches, I think, we're due for a win. And I feel more confident. I mean, this is it. We'll do it. Problem is that Chelsea are on such a bad run at the moment that they're due for a win as well. So it's
exactly. That law of averages goes the other way, doesn't it?
I know. And now it's got to the stage where we're hearing now, this is the time to beat Chelsea. If there's ever a time to beat Chelsea, now's the time. And you think, oh no, we said that last time. Law of averages
dictated that we should have lost to Man City, given that they've never scored against us at home.
Oh yeah, no, just sometimes it works that way. That you just go on these streaks, and they never sort of end. But what team will Tottenham? What Tottenham team will come out? I don't think, apart from the Man City game, I don't think we've played 90 minutes of football all season.
So Brad, you're going to the game. You're going to be at the Chelsea game.
Yeah.
How do you see the Chelsea game going? You're going to be there. You're going to be there.
Yeah. I'm of the law of average person that Spurs are consistently inconsistent, which means we're probably going to lose to Chelsea because we beat West Ham. So, unfortunately, I feel like I'm watching a Groundhog Day with Tottenham again this year. It's like 1 game we win, 1 game we lose, 1 game we win, 1 game we lose. It's like we're just not consistent at all. And I kind of agree with Hass's earlier point. Like if we're coming off of 4 wins in a row or something, or 5 wins in a row, I'd be more confident going into the game. But I just don't know what Tottenham's going to turn up on Sunday. So, and at some point, like you say, Chelsea are probably going to have to win the game. So, I mean, the doctor might come out. You don't know.
Tottenham at their best can beat anyone. That's the problem.
Yeah, but at our worst,
it's true.
Yeah.
We can, but we haven't been good enough this season to go and win. Look, we've lost 8 games this season. We've only played 24. That's terrible. When you
lose, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but if we do lose to Chelsea, they've still got a game in hand on us. So realistically, they could go to 37 points. They'll be 5 points behind us. There'll be 5 points
Tommy,
behind us.
I've said this for a while. When everyone's getting carried away about Liverpool and Chelsea doing bad, I said, wait until the end of the season because I can guarantee you that at least one of them will finish above us this season.
And look at Liverpool. Look at the games they've played. Look how many games they've played. 22.
6. They get a couple of games in hand on us. They go and win them both. They're 1 point behind us. And who thinks with what's left of it? Was it 12 games to go? No, sorry, 14 games to go. Sorry, that we're going to get the same amount of points as Liverpool. Really?
The thing is, right?
It's a very good point from Brad with the Europe thing. Obviously, 5-2 down. It looks like they're going to struggle. But now they'll have the fitness for the extra 2 games they've got on us on hand. If they was in Europe as well, that really will be hard on the legs. So that certainly helps out. It certainly helps out there as well.
Yeah.
It looks
like the FA Cup as well.
With regards to the Chelsea thing, right? The Chelsea game, historically, when teams are doing crap and they really need points, historically, the best team to play is Tottenham. It's true. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
it's true.
You're on a bad run of form. You haven't scored in
list. And look at the fixture list, right? We're on a bad run of form. Who we got next? Tottenham. Yes, Dr. Tottenham. Get in there. That's who we need next. Pick us up. You know what I mean? That's exactly what it is. Honestly, that's how it feels like sometimes.
I think after the game on Sunday, which the first half was probably one of the dullest games I've ever been to, especially for a London, a derby match. But second half, we were better. And the crowd got involved. After the first goal went in, the crowd got involved. And that ground, when the crowd are involved and everyone's singing, it's really loud. So I think what we need on Sundays, we need to get the early goal to get the crowd involved and get the confidence up. Because, if that goal hadn't gone in, and I think our first goal on Sunday, I mean, that's a candidate for goal of the month. If you watch the whole goal, So I think, and that really got the crowd involved after that.
And the Brazilian Cafu scored, so.
How's he doing that?
Oh, we're going to talk about that. Don't worry. The wing backs certainly had a part to play. Certainly had a part to play in that victory. But Levy,
Brad, Levy?
Oh,
I've got Levy on the mind. Yeah,
Brad. Levy and Brad. There's not really a similarity there, but no. Brad mentioned the celebrations. Post celebrations, were they over the top? Seeing as we're on the topic, we might as well start with that. I put a Twitter post out. It's safe to say it rolled a few people up. I love riling people up on Twitter. It's a cesspit. That's what it's there for now. If you can't beat them, join them. So you got to throw the odd one out there, but it certainly rolled some people out. So I mean, Brad pretty much summed it. I wasn't at the game, but the atmosphere. Everybody said the atmosphere was terrible in the first half. They're beneath us. They're beneath us, West Ham. They have been for some time. Literally, they're 18th. They're relegation bound. Post celebrations, were they a little bit over the top for you from what you saw?
Look, as fans, right, we're allowed to celebrate for the moment. Okay, so the moment was us beating West Ham, and that's no matter what position we're in, Tottenham or West Ham, it's never going to change. Same with any other London rival, Arsenal, Chelsea, whoever it is. In that moment, it was right to celebrate and banter the other club, banter the West Ham fans. Nothing wrong with that. However, what we can't do is, ride the waves of this win, because it's just a win against a very, very, very average team at the end of the day, who just happen to be one of our London rivals. So I would say the fans at the stadium or wherever you were watching the game have every right to celebrate, because they would have done exactly the same thing against us. That's just how it works. But to sort of, carry on with it afterwards, I think it's a bit too much, if you know what I mean. Celebrate the day, but don't get carried away. And that's that to it,
Perchy, what's your opinion on this? On the
my honest opinion about it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Genuinely, absolutely tragic. Genuinely, and people slate me for it. Tragic.
Oh, I said the same, mate.
We sit there.
Celebration police.
No, I'm not. No, I have no issues with people celebrating, but I don't want any of our fan base now going to West Ham. That's your cup final. We celebrate like we won the league. and listen, I'm not one of these. Like, I'm not one of these that cares necessarily. I watched it. I was going, the flares are going. I'm going, it's a bit okay. Like, when we did it, when it happened last time, I could kind of got the irony of like, it was done in a bit of a banner because they were sitting there saying West Ham are massive. So we were kind of laughing that side off. I saw the celebrations going, really? We beat one of the worst sides at the stadium this season we played. One of the worst sides we played all season, and we're going crazy. Like, in that format, I'm going like, come on, guys. That context is key here. We just got battered to Leicester the week before, and we're going like that. And I was like, save all that for when we go and win something like, when we do actually go and win something like serious. And like, as I said, I don't mind. I'm not sitting there to blaming people to celebrate, but go sing, go crazy. I just thought a little bit cringeworthy for me. And my point being is we can't sit there and banter West Ham fans going, it's your cup final when we celebrate like that. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, 84 messages and 40,000 views. Okay, yeah, people were.
I refrained from what I said. I made my point clear, and I kept it quiet. I didn't reply to anybody after it. I was like, "It is what it is." Like, but I get why people celebrate, and I get it. But then we can't. You've got to take things. I take things very contextually. Like, if you're going to do that, you then can't go and sit there and laugh at West Ham when they start singing West Ham are massive. So we go and do exactly the same cringy stuff as they do. So it's like context. But yeah, I'll let someone else speak. Sorry.
Right, now we go to the boys that were there. Now we go to the boys that were there. Did you remember the scenes, Brad? Were you there for the scenes?
The weird thing is I mean, we've all been on the goal line bar, so I wasn't actually taking part in the singing because I was basically queuing up for a beer and having a chat with my mate Steve. But where they were actually doing all the singing was up the steps, so I didn't actually see any flares. So when I saw that video with a flare, I was actually quite amazed. Wow, they're flares. But look, you know, there's a lot of shit going on in the world at the moment. You know, there's a lot of rubbish. There's a lot of bad things, sports, the world, whatever. You got to take your enjoyment when you can. I agree with what the guys are saying that, yeah, you know, it can be a little bit cringeworthy that, you know, that we're bantering them and saying it's your cup final, blah, blah, blah. But I think if you don't enjoy the moments when you can, then the next time you lose, you regret thinking, oh, why didn't I enjoy it last week? You know.
I totally agree with you, Brad. Yeah, by the way, everyone's entitled to celebrate. Completely agree.
And I have to say that, and it's not because we beat West Ham, but my celebrations probably were over the top because I think came home. We went to an Irish bar in Ealing, and I didn't get home till like midnight. Ordered the pizza, then probably fell asleep. So I missed the delivery, and then I woke up.
All right.
Hang on a minute. Went down to the pizza, sitting there on the porch in the box. So took it up.
Ordered the pizza. Ordered the holes.
And I haven't done that for a long, long time. But yeah, you wake up in the morning and like there's clothes are everywhere because you just took your jacket off like that sort of thing, you know. But not because of big West Ham.
I don't regret missing the hangovers, especially when we play on a Sunday and then have to go to work on the Monday with the football hangovers. The one thing since I don't go to football anymore is I don't miss that.
Yeah, well, I don't work at the moment, but yesterday was, you know, this week is my recording week, so I literally missed a day of recording yesterday, so I've got to pack it into 2 or 3 days now because I just couldn't do anything. I'm normally fine. I don't normally get up okay, and I might be a bit groggy, but I'm normally okay. But yesterday was like, nah, I just want to sit and watch telly and eat, basically.
Would you like to see them relegated, West Ham? This was a conversation I had earlier. Would you like to see them relegated? What did you make of the scene? You were there as well.
Well, I didn't like Brad. I didn't really engage in the scenes because I went with like a friend, so we went home like pretty much straight after the game. But from what I saw on Twitter, I have a different view of this. So because the West Ham fans give us so much crap, like whenever we play them, like for once, I could kind of understand why people did it to that level because it's like, fine, you can shut them up because they just every game we play them, they always just like Tottenham get battered. That's all they bloody sing. Even if they're up the darts, as a West Ham fan, they probably start singing that song. Even if they were like another stadium, they start singing about Tottenham. So it's like at this point, you might as well. It's like kind of letting out not the frustration, but it's like finally we not like beat them, but obviously we did beat them. But it's just more just like I don't know what the word is. As in
this to me,
I can't understand it.
This
if that
is
makes
the way
sense,
I
because
see
it's
it.
like if someone was jabbing at you about something for ages and ages, and you finally beat them at something, you're gonna like celebrate like that because it's just the way it is. If someone takes pot shots at you on Twitter and you finally beat them in an argument, you start celebrating like that. Probably.
I get what you're saying, but that's their level. Like this is their cup final; it shouldn't be ours. So we should just be like,
I'm saying,
right,
the reason I understand it.
Of course, the fans should celebrate how they want to, especially the paying fans. But my view is this: what it represents. What does it represent?
I don't think it represents anything
from beating West Ham.
I don't think it represents anything.
But this is where we differ because I do think it represents. I believe this was the Leicester loss 4-1. This was the Milan loss. It wasn't just because it was a London rival. Of course, we're happy to beat West Ham. Of course, we're extremely happy to beat West Ham. But it represents its relief. It's relief, and then can sort of camouflage it as fans and say, well, it's because of West Ham. The fan base have been deprived through Levy, so it's nothing against the fans celebrating.
Yeah, I'm Levy out. Deprived
to the extent for me, where we're coming down to the mid 2000s level. We're coming to the mid 2000s level where we were neck and neck with West Ham. That's sort of where we're going, because we finished 6th and 7th. Only last season we got 4th under Conte. We were going down that route, 6th, 7th, and without Kane, without Conte, I think it's we're going down there even further. I think we're heading. I think we're heading down there. This could be our cup final now. like it was in the mid-2000s. Because we're not beating Arsenal and Chelsea. We're not. We're getting spanked by Chelsea everywhere we go. You know, we want to talk about everywhere we go. We get, you know, they're not that great anyway. So that's the way I see it. I mean, Man United are not going to celebrate like this against Leeds. When they beat Leeds, huge rival, they're not going to celebrate like this. No chance. The other Champions League teams.
That's a bit of a different context, I think.
Yeah, but Tommy, we're the only football team that sings about a semi-final of a Champions League, a quarter-final of a Champions League, by the way, about a team that has won how many trophies. It's one of the songs that when I sing, it absolutely cringes me out. Listen, I'm not one of these as a go, but when I see that Hit At LA song, I cringe. I'm going, how many trophies have Man City won since that time? Like every time, come on, guys. Like, it's only because like I sit there and I go, who else would do that? Like, we would not have any other fan base would do this. If Arsenal started singing sung that song, we'd go, come on, that's cringeworthy. Like, I just think some of the stuff we do is bad. But listen,
Arsenal aren't singing it if they beat West Ham, and Chelsea and West Ham have got a big rivalry.
Yeah.
You think Chelsea fans are singing like that if they beat West Ham? It's like we won a Champions League.
We don't know, do we? We don't know.
I think the rivalry is bigger between us and West Ham than Chelsea.
No. Spurs and West Ham's massive.
That's what you're saying.
Please, sir. Can I go, sir, please?
Yes, sir.
David Clark mentioned something about Son getting some racist abuse from the West Ham fans. Okay, so I saw some of the stuff on Twitter that was said about Son. Absolutely disgusting. I'm not just saying that because he's our player. He could be playing for any club, right? It's disgusting. That shouldn't be anywhere in the game. But just for that reason alone, I'm happy that I'm happy that we celebrated like we did in front of those fans to rub more salt into the wound. I know it's a bit cringy and stuff, but you know what? The way I see it, it's another 3 points away from them, and hopefully they can go down because of that loss against us.
Oh, I hate West Ham.
Yeah, I'd like nothing.
I don't want to see him go down. I want to see him suffer. I want to see him suffer. I want to.
I think they have the worst fans.
I want to see them suffer.
Yeah, I've had West Ham fans behind me when we were playing at Wembley, and they're talking away and talking about gassing the Jews and all that sort of thing. And they were serious. They weren't doing it just for banter or anything. Not that it's banter anyway, but they were serious, And you felt like, I what do you say to those sort of people? It's just amazing. There's a human what's when you study the human? Is that called? Not human psychology. The human, human. Anyway, there was a book. I can't remember. The guy's really well known. There's a book on human societies and how we've progressed. It's called like The Natural Ape or something like that. But there's a whole chapter on football supporters, and it's a quite old book. It's from the 70s. It's really, really interesting about football supporters and coming from the tribe and all this sort of thing, and wearing your colours and that sort of thing. So maybe the last 3 hunts we haven't been successful in our last 3 hunts, but now we've been successful in the hunt and we're going to eat again. So it's all down to that sort of thing.
The Son stuff was absolutely,
that's
absolutely crazy, absolutely disgusting. But I don't care about West Ham. I don't care about their fans. They're beneath us. That's where they should be. They should be beneath us. That's the way I see it. So absolutely celebrate the way you want to celebrate. You have absolutely every right, but. We need to. I want to save that for Arsenal and Chelsea. I want to see that Sunday. If it happens Sunday, I'm absolutely delighted. I'm reveling in it, 100%. But we've all got West Ham. We've all got West Ham mates probably that we can back. And
I actually don't have any. And it's quite surprising.
Where I come from, in Kent, most of the London, most of the clubs. The boys around here support from London are West Ham, unfortunately. So,
all right,
but they were
Chelsea.
They were neck and neck with us in the mid-2000s. When we were neck and neck
West
in the
Ham
mid-2000s, that sort of was our cup final.
Chelsea
Millwall or Euro? Possibly. Right. We sort of rushed into that because I didn't want to talk about that straight away. So that was an appetizer. That was an appetizer, but it wasn't meant to be an appetizer. So Stellini.
Oh my God!
Masterclass. Yeah, your name. I mean, I put this up there, Hass, in terms of we beat Man City, we beat West Ham with him in the dugout. Do you think he's having an impact himself?
Well, look, his record is 100% every time he's been in charge. So that alone suggests that he might be having an impact. But I can't see him doing anything different to what Conte might be telling him. But basically, what I'm trying to say is, I still think Conte is sort of giving him the instructions from wherever he is. So still implementing the Conte method, his style on the game. It's just that, you know, I don't know what it is, to be honest with you, but I still think Conte is in charge from wherever he is, and Stellini's sort of implementing his ways from, you know, just through him, if you know what I mean. So Conte's implementing his style and stuff through Stellini still, even though he's not there. But look, I didn't see much different in terms of tactics per se. We saw Royale pushing in midfield even when Conte was in charge. So that's nothing new. And he was doing that again against West Ham. Now, you know, I think the boys had to pick up their game against West Ham after the recent results. So do we buy into it? I don't know. I mean, I still think he's receiving orders from Conte, if I'm being honest with you. And Stellini himself said that, you know, he's still very much
post-match.
I mean, they're a team, aren't they? They've been together, so they're going to have the same.
They're a team. They've got the same thought process, same method. He's not done anything different in terms of the way he set the team up. You know, he's still playing with the wing backs, 3 at the back. You know, so nothing's really changed. It's just on the day, West Ham. There is a mixture of West Ham being shit and us, you know, upping our game a little bit in the second half and taking the game to them, you know.
It was weird, actually. In his press conference, he more or less said that the first half, we basically were battering them, if you like, sort of trying to break them down, trying to, you know, tire them out.
Yeah, they were camped. They were camped in their own half most of the time.
Second half, stretch them. And you know, it's the first time they've actually admitted that the slow starts is maybe something that they're doing in some of these games on purpose, just to get them, you know, just to sort of, you know, batter them down a bit, tire them, and then come out in the second half, you know, and stretch them.
Scott M put into words what I was trying to say. Basically, I don't know if you want to get that up, Tommy. He says
9:49, I think. Was it 9:49? 9:49.
Scott M put it up.
Yeah. I'm saying
Stellini spent his whole career with Conte. Said he talked to Conte before and during the game. He's just a proxy for Conte and not doing anything different. That's exactly what I was trying to say, but it's better articulated by Scott M. So thank you for that.
I think Stellini will be Stellini. I'm getting all mixed up here. I think Scott will be elated that you've called him out and said that you agree with one of his comments. Rare. Rare. But actually, over the month of years,
it's fair, isn't it?
The fact that Stellini's won his six games in charge, so they're 3 with Inter. It's a statistical anomaly.
I'm certainly becoming a glass half full fan. Let's put it that way. Scotty M. But no, that's a very good way of seeing it. And Perchi, I know you're not Conte's biggest fan. So what do you make of this whole Stellini thing? Is he just completely taking orders? Just completely taking orders from Conte?
I mean, the first half just summed up a Conte performance, and it feels like no difference was there. Second half, I mean, when I saw the lineup at the start, I was like, why am I even bothering? We had 8 defensive players on. It was like, what is the point? I kind of had a feeling how we were going to play. Ironically, the wing backs ended up being all right, to be fair. I mean, it was brilliant in Paris in play, but do I think is it match a masterclass? No, we should be beating West Ham. I expect us to beat West Ham. Do you know what I mean? Like, they were crap. So I mean, I would have expected you to be in charge, Tommy, and we should have got a result against them never that bad. Genuinely,
we'd be unbeaten. We'd be unbeaten, mate. If I was in charge, we'd be unbeaten. It'd be the next Invincibles this season. I'm telling you.
But as I said, like the whole situation with the whole Conte, you know, I'm not a big fan. I just can't wait for this whole saga to be over with because I'm bored of it. But I think I'm shocked it hasn't happened already. But my prediction is in 6 weeks.
The football's boring.
Yeah, but my prediction is in 6 weeks he'll be gone. They'll announce it that he's not coming back. That's my prediction. When he's had his 6 weeks, he'll announce he's not going to come back and his contract will be over at the end of the season. But that's my theory. Has I am noticing your change of shirts every 5 minutes. By the way,
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
I'm not saying anything, but I clocked it. That one's the best one yet, though, that you got on.
Turkey. Declan Rice is not worth £100 million. Sorry. Still, I agree with that. And what's your take? What's your take on it? You
Well,
pretty much standpoint everyone else is. He's just taking orders.
Well, it's a bit of both, I think, actually. So first of all, he is taking orders from Conte because on his post-match, when I was listening on the radio on the way home, he mentioned that he was on the phone to Conte at half-time. I don't know if you guys heard it on, I think it was Talk Sport or one of the other ones, 909, one of those. But then I have heard something else. This is not, I don't know, I'm not saying I'm ITK, but someone I know who's like plays for like the Spurs youth.
Has TK.
Yeah, so I got told this on the weekend. So apparently Stellini actually has like a really good relationship with the players, like more so than Conte, because you know the whole good cop bad cop thing. Like he seems like the good cop, I think. But don't quote me. I'm not going to tell you who told me, but I can't say so. But like I consider him like a good source. So maybe that is a factor. I don't know.
Off there. Let's talk about off there.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think it's a bit of both. Like he's taking orders from Conte.
Last source I had was Barry. The last source I had was Barry, and he was trying to convince me in the 28th of January that we were signing in Ndika 100%. So, yeah.
Oh, no, it's not Barry. So.
Mine was Nando.
That's the last person on stream. That's the last person on stream that's trying to, sell me sources. But we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it after.
All right. Okay.
Right. But look, David. But everything you said here, the gaps appeared in the second half was because West Ham used all the energy in the first. That's Conte's. That's how Conte's been doing things. That's why I believe. That's why I believe we've been. We've gone from the 19th highest runners, most kilometers run under Nuno, to the second highest kilometers run. And that is what's given us the points in the second half. When it comes down to the last 60, 70 minutes, we have got those extra minutes in our legs. I think that's how Conte's done things. And 100% believe he's just taking orders. But that's a good way of looking at it, Haz. I didn't think of a good cop, bad cop. And there is a bit of that. You can see that. And I think he comes across really well. Press conferences, post-match, pre-match. I think Stellini does come across
very honest
well,
as well. He doesn't talk. I mean, Conte sort of talks in riddles. You can more or less understand what he's saying, but they're sort of riddles. Whereas I think Stellini's quite straightforward.
And that's what assistant managers are like. That's what assistant managers are like. They're not tactical. They're put your fucking arse in gear, put your arse in gear, and bring it on a pitch. And that is usually that's how it works. And that's why the assistant managers never really make good managers, because they're not that tactical. But I like him. I like Stellini, but he wouldn't dare go behind Conte's back. They come together. So it would never happen. As you said,
charge,
as you said, West Ham. We should be beating West Ham comfortably. 18th. They've got a lot of injuries. I don't like using injuries as an excuse, but the Spurs fans want to use it as an excuse if we don't finish in the top 6. So I'll use it for opposition teams as well. They had a lot of injuries, and first and foremost, they're struggling. We're at home. And Man City, we always beat Man City. We always beat Man City. It's just one of those crazy. We're the epitome of a bogey team. The absolute epitome of a bogey team. Somehow we always beat them. Right now, the Brazilians, the Brazilians out wide, not just Brazilian. Roberto Carlos / Davies up the left, Cafu up the right. It's all right. It's looking good. Wing-back position is looking good. After Sunday, do you believe that they're going to keep their nose? Do you think Emerson's going to certainly start ahead of Porro? He was a big signing, Haas. And Davies to start left wing-back once again?
Yeah, listen, Carlos and Cafu are going to start again on Sunday, 100%. Look, jokes aside, Emerson's done himself no harm with his recent performances. Let's be honest, We've all given him a hard time. We've all given him grief about how shit he was at football. Even questioned whether he was Brazilian or not, okay? We've got to give him props where props is due. He's put in 2-3 good performances of late, and he's capped it off with a wonderful goal against West Ham. So I think he should keep his place, until, the mistakes start creeping in again, which I hope it won't. But, he fully deserves his place in the team. And I'm always a believer, if you're playing well, you stay in the team. There's no need to mix it around, change it around, unless, there's injury or fatigue or anything like that. So 100% he deserves it. As for Davies, look, Davies has actually been one of the ones that has been the more consistent, okay, in terms of his performances. He's not going to set the world alight, but what he does give you is that sort of a bit of balance, if you know what I mean. Like he just sticks to his job, if you know what I mean, and he does it to the best he can. So look, I think Davies, if anything, is more reliable than Longley, if I'm being honest with you. Longley's got a mistake or two in him sometimes. But whether he starts at left centre back or left wing back, I don't know. That remains to be seen.
Would you chuck him in, Chelsea?
What?
Would you chuck him in left wing back, Ben, or would you put
Left wing
Perisic
back?
back in there? Because Sessegnon,
I think to keep it more solid. Well, look, put it this way: if we're going to rank him over Perisic and Sessegnon, we've got to look at the pros and cons of it, right? Perisic isn't going to give you much cover because he just hasn't got the legs, whereas Davies will give you that cover. You know, he can track back. He can be defensive. You know, he can play centre back, so he'll give you that cover. What he showed on Sunday is that he can travel with the ball, and he can spot a pass as well from deep, as he did for Royale. So he's giving you options. So that's what that's the pros over Perisic and Sessegnon. Well, let's be honest. What does Sessegnon give us?
He's still injured anyway, so I think
He's still injured, so it's not really.
Yeah, but I'm saying hypothetically.
Oh, right. Okay, so when everyone's back.
Yeah.
Right, I see what you're saying.
I actually
Everyone's
think
back.
Davies
Yeah.
gives us more on that side than Sessegnon.
I think Davies gives us more as well, to be honest with you. He's more.
Again, it's
more-
not much of an adaptation, is it? He played
I
15
think he
years
offers
at
more
left
than
back,
Perisic.
Ben Davies.
I think
I think we're looking
is-
at Ben Davies like he's most certainly a centre back. Well, he played, 99% of his career as a left back. So again, it's not much of an adaptation left back to left wing back. So for me, it makes sense that he had a pretty good game against West Ham. But the question that was West Ham. If you had the decision to make between Davies and Perisic, as has said, looking at the pros and cons, who do you go with? Because it's going to be it's going to be a big discussion.
I wanted to say one more thing before you moved on.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Tommy. I was going to move on to if it came to who's going to start centre back and left wing back, I would possibly look at putting Davies as left centre back and Perisic left wing back, where then Davies can cover more for Perisic, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. And then maybe he can move, a bit. He can progress a bit further up when he has to, but he can give that defensive cover, if you know what I mean. So what I'm trying to say is he can alternate between Perisic and Davies in terms of getting forward.
Perch, who are you putting in there?
I mean, I'd keep the two personally against Chelsea. I'm not impressed with Perisic. I don't know. Everyone gets really excited by him. Apart from whipping a cross in on a set piece, I really don't see what he does in a wing back position, which we need help defensively. So for that reason, you'd play Ben. I'd over Ben Davies there. I think defensively he offers more, and you're going to need that against Chelsea more than you did against West Ham. You're going to need that much more defensive security because they've got good. Regardless if we talk about Chelsea in the sense that they're not playing well, they have got good attacking players with a bag of pace that you're going to need someone to defend. And Perisic just can't defend. I think he struggled. I mean, he came on and I thought he had one of the worst cameo appearances. I mean, I'm shocked he didn't get sent off. He deserved to. He gave away 2 yellow card offences against West Ham.
He's had a couple of them games, hasn't he? The initial game against Man City. The initial game against Man City, he struggled.
He came on. He should have got booked for the first one. He got away with it. And I think he gets away with it because it's his first tackle and it's near the end of the game. And then the second one, I'm going, what are you doing? But yeah, I think you can't not take Emerson Royale at the moment because he's playing all right. You earn your place, and I live by the thing is you earn your place in the team. He's earned his place to start. He should start. As I said, this is why I always say about certain other players that seem to not get dropped. We'll move on further forward down the pitch later, but my point being is he's earned his spot. He's played well enough. Should start. I think he earns the right to.
And I guess carrying on from that, Brad. Porro didn't exactly light it up in his debut against Leicester. We lost 4-1, and he wasn't. To say he wasn't
I think
good
it's
is an understatement.
I think it's unfair on him on that part. I think
Definitely. But if you're considering who you're going to put in there, Royal's been fantastic, and you do look at Porro's one.
It'd be very
unlucky to
very harsh
rate too highly.
It'd be very harsh to drop Royal, especially when it's a big game. It's a big London derby. Porro probably, well, you might have experienced him in Portugal maybe, but. And there are going to be a situation where we're going to be playing 2 games a week, so he's going to get his chance at some sort of stage. So it'd be very harsh to drop Royale. As for the other side, I think it depends on whether they want to play Lenglet at left centre back. Because if they play him there, then they might stick with Davies. But it's interesting that Perisic didn't play against West Ham, so whether they are just saving him for the Chelsea game. And I think we got to attack Chelsea. We can't give them any initiative. I think we need to attack them. So it's going to be interesting what team comes out. But I'm the same on Perisic. I've been very underwhelmed by him. He's been good for his assists, but he hasn't even scored. Has he? You think he'd score? I mean, we all saw the YouTube videos of him scoring.
But Brad, 7 assists. That's
Yeah. Oh no, he's good there. Yeah.
A lot of assists.
It's just ironical that the actual goals. The actual wing-back goal, how Conte wants his wing-backs to play. I mean, it wasn't a cross, admittedly, but one cross to the other one score. It's ironical that it was actually done with 2 fullbacks. So I don't know. I want to go on the front foot against Chelsea, and I think to do that, I think we need to say Perisic on, and I think Davies is a better left centre back than Longley anyway. So. And he's also got the experience of these big games, these London derbies. And
he's played with Dyer as well at the back. He's got, as bad as Dyer is, they've got some sort of communication, having played together for how many years, rather than, having Longley back there. Yes, okay, he's played at the world stage and, at the biggest stages in the world. But, Dyer and Davies have played together for numerous years. So it just makes more sense, I think.
Right, Has finally on this topic, very divisive in the chat. So Ben Carlos, left wing, or Perisic, and then I think pretty much everyone's like, Emerson Royal deserves another shot at right wing back. Are you that way inclined?
I was actually very surprised with Davies' performance on that side. I didn't think he'd offer that much, and I think he actually did a lot better than I thought he would do. So, I would keep him in the side, and I'd put Perisic on that side, because regardless of what's happened in terms of his performances, I still think he's been our best player on that side, which says a lot, actually. On the right, I mean, Emerson, the past 3 games, has arguably been our best player. It's coming from me. Honestly, he properly deserved his goal against West Ham. That was a brilliant finish.
Jimmy Greaves, that was.
Yeah, and I actually think that Porro's arrival has kind of woken him up a bit. I think, and because I know Emerson, I don't know if you heard in in January, that he said he wants to stay at Spurs. So maybe he thinks now that he has to do something, otherwise they'll actually sell him in the summer. So maybe this Porro signing has kind of motivated him even more to perform. I don't know. That's my thought. But you kind of have to go.
It's definitely played a part. It's too much of a coincidence, isn't it? It's too much of a coincidence.
Something must be said.
Up his game immediately. But I can assure you, having looked back at the footage of the Emerson finish with the goal, he was aiming for top right there. He was definitely aiming for top right.
Oh, come on.
Get out of here. Come on. Get out. That was a Jimmy Greaves guy. Passed it into the back of the net.
He's the next CAFU.
That's great. He's a top finish.
Dyer's probably going to play against Chelsea, so I kind of also with Brad in the sense, and Haas and that, we kind of have to play Davies with him.
Absolutely.
So,
Well, we're going to be talking about Dyer shortly. Don't worry, he always comes up.
Right.
But look. When it comes to Emerson, for me, he's had a couple of decent games. I do not rate his defending. For me, his defending consists of jumping, slide tackling, and hopefully I'll win the ball. That's pretty. I've never seen him. I've never ever seen him on his feet win the ball. I don't think I've ever seen him on his feet challenge. I don't think I ever have. I think the only challenge I've seen him win is jumping forward and slide tackling. Even against Man City, against Grealish, it was practically all slide tackles. And as the great Maldini said, and I always go by the Serie A greats, if I have to make a tackle, I've already made a mistake. And that is from a great. Positioning is the key to defending, not slide tackles. That's how I always see it. So, but look, credit where credit's due. He's done okay recently. And what we've seen of Porro, you've got to say, Emerson, Give him the 4th game on the bounce. And it is too coincidental, the fact that he's upped his game after Porro. Because there's no way he's played 3 good games on the bounce before that.
I don't think he ever
There's
played
no
without effort. I think he always put an effort in.
Always. That's
it's
massive
his,
positive.
Yeah, it's just his
One
limited
massive
ability going forward. I reckon he's the new Sissoko, the new cult hero. I mean, in Sissoko, we all thought he was rubbish for a whole season. And then when we had the Champions League run, he was really a big part of that. And we all, I
think Emerson's better, Brad. I think Emerson's better than Sissoko.
Well, even when you look at the transfer window, Spencer's out of the equation because obviously Conte doesn't try. He's moved on to
Danny. I didn't say he's our best left wing back. I just said he looked better than I thought he would be.
Yeah, but when you look at Emerson and Doherty, which one was going to go? I think it's no brainer that we kept Emerson. So that's my opinion anyway. But yeah, credit where credit's due. He's trying. That's what you want to see your players doing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I always put a few notes down, and I said, look, when I scrutinise people, I do give them their due as well. And Emerson's attitude has always been fantastic. It's always been top dollar. But I think that's partly because
I think you misheard me. I said Perisic was being our best left wing back. Sorry, I'm replying to Danny in the chat.
I'll be honest with you. I think Emerson almost. I mean, that's why he spent £1 million training himself up over the summer. I think he knows he's not a very good footballer, but his attitude is there. He always gives it his best. When he's getting so much flack from the fans, he was still, it wasn't really deterring him. He was still getting on with it. So, credit where credit's due. But I think he is an accident waiting to happen. And it's good that we've got Porro there, just in case, just in case it does go south, or from my prediction, when it goes south, because I don't think this form is going to last too long for Emerson. Right. Look, this is where I was going to come on to West Ham post celebrations over the top, but we've already gone through that. I'll tell you what, this is very interesting indeed, and this is why this man's lips is always this man's name's always on my lips. But just coming on air like an hour before I came on air, I saw this and slightly worrying reading. New ownership. There's this new ownership news. Minority. It was a minority stake early in January. We're talking about full ownership with a guy that owns that's the chair to McLaren and Augsburg. They're looking like they want to take over now. The news is if they take over, Levy wants to stay as chairman. Multiple sources reporting this. This is from the Standard. This is exactly what the Standard have said. Daniel Levy has indicated that he would like to remain at the club in the event that any deal to sell the whole or part of the club materialises. Haas, how do you see this, my friend? And I know Bottom has isn't looking too fresh with the news, but Top has. What do you make of this?
Look, how many times have we spoke about Levy, this, that, and the other? I'm not going to say anything more on Levy. Everyone knows my stance on Levy by now, so I'm not going to go into that. But first of all, I'm going to say he's a businessman. Okay, that's number one. So if there's any money to be made from potential new owners, what did we think he was going to do? Okay, if these owners are coming in with new ideas, potentially going to make more money or more business plans, I'm sure Levy wants to be in the center of all of that. So this whole thing about him wanting to stay on if we're sold or part bought or whatever it is doesn't surprise me at all. This is just Levy's business acumen, which, you've got to say is quite high. The guy's a businessman. He's one of the best there is. But to our detriment, to the club's sort of footballing detriment, yes, he's fantastic. But, am I surprised that he wants to stay on? No. If there's money to be made, he's going to be sniffing around it like a rat up a drain pipe. He's going to be there. So, no, it doesn't surprise me at all. Doesn't surprise me.
Perch, have you seen this news yourself?
I told you in your stream before, and you were like, nah. I said it will always come out like that. But this it's a narrative that's it's kind of clickbaity news in a sense. It's kind of irrelevant because new owners come in and they don't want him there, they'll get rid of him. Of course, he'll want to stay along with the club. He'll want to stay to help with the transition. But if new owners come in and they want to get their own guys in, they'll get their own guys in. So for me, it's kind of in air quotes, a nothing story. The only way it happens is, as I said, if he wants to stay along, then the new owners that do come, if they do come in, and if it's minority share, then they have no say anyway. If it's majority share, it's different. They make their decision on who they want in, if that makes sense.
There's a few things I'm seeing in the chat which doesn't fill me with confidence, and that's apparently we want to sign Longley in a permanent deal.
Well, I mean,
if that's our left centre back, we're supposed to be getting in the summer. That's worrying.
But that's the key. That's the key in that comment from What's the Point. The key word there is Levy wants to sign. So if we have new owners, but Daniel Levy stays on as chairman, if he just keeps totally out of the football side of things, running the football team, then fine. Because business-wise, he's done well. He's all the the NFL deal, all the box, all that stuff, all the income we generate from that stadium, it's been fine. But it's just the fact that it doesn't get spent or doesn't seem to be spent on the football team. So if we get new owners with a bit more extra cash, and he's left in charge of the commercial side of it, you organise all your football matches, your boxing matches, whatever. Fine. But if he just stays out of the football dealings, and I mean that comment there about Levy wants to sign or Levy wants this player, no, just stay out of it. Let the people that are the managers and whoever they might be next season, they're the ones that should decide who we buy and who we sell football wise. And I've said this, I've never wavered from this. You give your budget, you say, this is how much money we have to spend. You spend it how you want. So if you want to spend 90 million out of 150 million on one really good player, then do it. That's what you're paid to do. So if he keeps out of the football side and just does the commercial stuff, then fine. Haven't got a problem with that.
How do you feel on this? Bottom has.
Oh yeah, I'm not happy at all. I'm of the belief that I think Levy's more of a problem than Enoch. So if Levy was to stay in any capacity, I'll be fuming.
Yeah, I mean, Brad said if he stays out of football operations,
I don't trust him to do that.
Well, that's the thing.
If he did, then yeah.
You'd have to lock him up in Lily White House and fore away the key or something, and leave. Cut the internet.
I don't think he's capable.
Cut the phone lines. Cut the internet.
For me,
paperwork or something. I don't know.
For me, he is the epitome. He's a micromanager in every part of the club. He's a micromanager, probably to the canteen breakfast. I reckon he's in charge of every little nook and cranny.
Well, he was with the stadium, wasn't he? He was with the stadium. He micromanaged the stadium.
That's why it was delayed. Do you remember I heard they had to pull out something and then put something back in because he wasn't happy with particular things, and he basically wasn't allowing the builders to do their jobs. I heard a lot about that. It's just
one of the architects turn his phone off when they went on a fact-finding mission, didn't they, in America, looking at all the American grounds, and the guy who was with the architect guy, he actually switched his phone off because Levy would ring him up at 4 a.m. I've just had this great idea, sort of thing.
But just like Scott M was saying about Stellini being a proxy for Conte, that's what Levy is for Joe Lewis. He's there as a proxy for Joe Lewis, because
I just think Joe Lewis is not as involved as you think. I think Levy's
Joe Lewis
too
invested. David Clark made a good point
for this club.
He's way too emotionally invested in terms of making money.
What Daniel Levy's doing is he's filling the prophecy of what he's in the job to do. It's to make them money. People miss this part of it, and everyone goes, "We hate him," because I can't stand him. But let's put a context to it. What is Daniel Levy doing? He's making shit tons of money for Joe Lewis and every shareholder. Yeah. You wonder why he walks into the share. Everyone goes, "Oh, he needs to go," but he walks into it and they go, "You're doing a grand job, mate. You just made me more money. Keep doing that. I'll see you next year." Exactly. He comes in next year and goes, "I've got another bag."
Remember, he took an $8 million bonus for delivering the stadium late. There's so many other things that.
Hence my point, Birchie, is they're doing the job that Joe Lewis can't at this point in time because he's
doing the job that he was set out to do.
Yeah, exactly.
His job is to make money. That's why they're in the club. That's why they're here.
The irony of this is a well successful football team would make them more money. That's the irony of it. So if Spurs are out there winning titles,
you are spot on. Everything you just said. What it is it's about damage limitations. So if we can go, do you know what? If we can achieve there, we can make that. If we want to go and achieve that, we may have to do that. So it's a sense of if we get to Champions League, that's why Champions League for me is irrelevant because Champions League is what turns it.
Yeah, the key word in ENIC is investment.
Yeah,
investment
agree.
company. Yeah, and that's it. And that's it. Whereas if you look at, say, Manchester City or Newcastle or Chelsea under Abramovich, that was the owner's own personal money being put in. So there you go. Have all that money. We'll call it a loan because it's not legal otherwise. But don't worry about paying it back. You do what you want with it. Whereas we're run by a club that has to make money, has to be sustainable, blah, 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 blah. And that's where the problem comes, is that they don't take the risks to pay that extra little bit of money to lift us to the next level. They've got us to Champions League qualification, you know, as they say, and this is the problem. They say, "Oh, we've got you 17 years of European football or whatever it is." It's like, well, great, but it's all about winning trophies. That's what football fans do. It's about dreams, and they've got us to a certain level, and they haven't been able to take us above that level.
And that's what we want.
And that's what we
want. That's what the Champions League is supposed to offer. Champions League is supposed to get you the best players so you can go and win trophies. That's what I want top four. I don't want top four as a trophy, like some people say. Why do you want top four?
Yeah. To attract
and you keep the best players. You keep the best
players.
Best agents want to be playing
in the Champions League.
In the Champions League, the best players want to be playing in the Champions League. Romero, Bentancur are two
Harry
best players.
If
they're not in the Champions League, there's a big problem if we're not in the Champions League. We about them, two relatively new signings. They'll be gone. They'll be fast gone. Kane, Conte doesn't matter. They won't be playing Champions League football. But the problem is we've never used Champions League football to get any further, to go any further, to win the title.
Yeah,
and that's what we should be doing.
That's the frustration about it. Yeah.
That is
when they made the statement, it should be like, we intend to win the Premier League within the next 5 years or wherever it might be. But they never said that. It's always about European football. And what does European football get you? It gets you money.
Money.
Yeah, exactly.
There's 100 reasons. There are hundreds, thousands of reasons why we don't want Levy to still be there if we got new owners in. And I'm sure most people want him out.
But just on that point, if the new owners have different objectives, then it's different. You've got to bear in mind, it's all about objectives. His objective is to make money. If the difference is, okay, the objectives change. Are you sitting there? If you see Levy,
I don't want him there. New owners, you're happy.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm being like devil's advocate for a reason. I don't want the man there. You know I don't. I've protested and I've done all that. But I'm being devil's advocate for the point is with new owners, there'll be different objectives. It depends what it is, though. If we get another investment firm come in, it's going to be exactly the same.
The problem is anyone that buys Tottenham Hotspur has got to buy into all the other things that are going on. I don't think, and I could be wrong here, so everyone knows anything different. I don't think you can buy Tottenham Hotspur as a football club. You have to buy the whole thing, which is the Northumberland development. We've got to develop it. So you've got to take on the property. That's why that guy from the Iranian American guy was interested in, and that's because he was a company that they wanted to take over the investments, to take over the properties, that sort of thing. Because again, that's another cash cow. That's another way of making money.
But we've heard this thing about Levy for every single possible takeover for years. I remember. Levy wants to stay on. But we've heard this constantly. So it's not, to me, it's not like just a normal thing. Like it's not just one. Like he wants it to happen. He wants to stay at the club. He's invested in some sort of way, not obviously in his good intentions. He just wants to make more money. And I'm scared. I'm scared.
I'm not going to put this question to anyone in particular. But does anyone mind if we were to get, let's say owners with dodgy backgrounds? Because even this investment firm are getting their money. You're going to get a lot of their money from Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi, I should say. So, what's your take on the history of a potential takeover? Do you care? Does anybody care if they've got?
Listen, times have changed, Tommy. Times have changed now. There's clubs being bought left, right, and centre. We at the moment, it's going to get to a point where we're not going to be able to compete with these clubs. Whether you like it or not, it's bringing success. You look at what's happened at Manchester City. You look at what's happening at Chelsea now. All right, they're shit at the moment, but they're going to come good at some point once they get the right manager in. Look at what's happening at PSG. Look, all these clubs, right? It's the way it's going at the moment. And for me, look, we've had Levy and Enoch in charge for what, almost 23 years now. Only club in the Premier League to have the same owners. We haven't changed owners since the Premier League began, since the Premier League era. I just think we need to sort of keep up with the times, and yeah, I think we're going to get left behind. If I'm being
that's the problem with the, yeah.
I don't think we'll be able to. We can't really compete now. If you look at it now, right, we can't compete with the likes of, you know, Chelsea, City, even United. They're spending power. Liverpool are you know, capable of spending big if they have to. We can't compete as it is now. So imagine when these clubs get bought up, how much further behind we're going to be.
The big problem, the big problem I had with that statement was the fact that they seem to be pinning a lot of hope on the new rule changes that are going to take, in about 3 or 4 years' time. Because if we wait 3 or 4 years, and in 3 or 4 years' time, yeah, if the other clubs don't move forward, we could be on a level playing field. But hey, they're going to have a lot of lawyers and accountants and that to make sure that they don't get caught up in that. So we will get behind if we're relying on new rule changes in the next 3 years.
Also, we can't really take the moral high ground because,
no,
you know, if you look at like Joe Lewis, for example, there was this whole thing about the FBI were investigating him because of some dodgy dealings in South America. He's trying to build some.
Oh, he ripped up Argentinian rainforest. They've been protesting.
Exactly. So if we're looking at it in terms of, oh, it's dirty money, this, that, and the other, well, you know, I think we need to wake up and smell the coffee a little bit, because our owner is no better than some of these, you know, owners out there of other clubs. You know what he's doing at the moment. So we can't really take the moral high ground and say, yeah, but it's dirty money from, you know, from the Saudis or Qatar and all that. I just want us to invest and win stuff. That's the bottom line. No matter how much we talk about it, that's the only thing that I want to see is to win stuff. I don't care how we do it, when we do it. I just want to see us lifting trophies and being a successful football club. That's it. That's all we want. That's it.
I think we tend to also, on a larger scale, we tend to beat ourselves up about this a lot, and it goes to all things. It's sort of like, well, you know, this sort of thing. Oh, make sure. You know, I mean, look, I'm all for saving the planet and climate change. I'm all for that. I'm all for doing that. I have my recycling stuff and, you know, all that sort of stuff. But it's like, oh, have a 5-minute shower to save water. It's like, well, no, I'm not going to do that, because you water companies are pumping fucking sewage into rivers and seas. You sort that out before you tell me to have a 5-minute shower. You know, so I think we tend to beat ourselves up about it. Yeah, we can protest, we can make our feelings heard, but at the end of the day, we can't do anything about who takes over our club. And yeah, I will be hypocritical. I might, you know, if we're taken up by Saudis and human rights, I hate that, what they're doing there. We win the title, I'm going to be up and down the bloody high road celebrating.
There you go. It's not just the Premier League. It's all sport. Yeah. It's all sport now. Look at golf. Look at cricket. You know, the biggest sports. And in many ways, it's sports washing.
Well, there's a new one now. Greenwashing.
For that.
It's a new one.
But if coming back to the sports washing stuff, if it is for that, but that's even better for us, because they're not interested in investing. It's not about the investment of making money from the club. It's about making themselves look good. So they just want to win. They 100% want to win.
Well, this guy that wanted to take over Man United, who now apparently wants to take us over as well. He's a big director of a big chemical company. And they just want to say it's greenwashing, because he can say, "Oh, look what we're doing for the local community," blah blah blah. You know, so
I don't think any billionaire is clean. Personally,
no, I agree. It has. I can get to find one.
It depends how far you want to take your virtue signal. You can take it with anything. Does everyone have one of these? A mobile phone. Think about all the way that they're built.
The metal need to be gathered from Africa.
Yeah,
this is what I mean. All the coffee that you drink, how that all gets. Do you know what I mean? How far do you take the virtue signal to it become every single thing is a problem?
That's what I'm saying. You can do what you can. You know, as I say, I have a recycling bin and a rubbish bin. I put them in the recycle. You know, that's my you know, my bit for climate change. You know, that sort of thing. You can do what you can, but you're right, Perchy. You know, your phone, this laptop. You know, you know, the furniture I'm sitting on. You know, it's everything. It's got something behind there.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I'm at the point where I'm Has, I like what you said about you want to win trophies. I just want a plan. That's on my level at the moment is so far down. I just want to see a plan at this football club anymore because I haven't seen one for donkey's years. I want us to go, do you know what? Our 5-year plan is we're going to do this. Or our 10-year plan, our 10-year goal is to do this. I'm so devoid of trophies and stuff at the moment because I don't think we're going to win one anytime soon, by the way, that I just want to see us have a plan and go, this is our action. Do you know what? We're going to have to suffer for 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, whatever it is. I don't really care. But the aim of it is we're going to build up this, that, and the other. We're going to start from scratch with our academies and we're going to build up youngsters from the young ages, building the exact same system. So similar to what Man City did under Win. And that's how like they brought players like Phil Foden through. And Rico Lewis is of late. What they do is they play the same way from top to bottom. So from when they start as a kid, they learn the same philosophy. And then what we're going to do as a plan, if we have to rotate managers, the idea is we bring another manager with the same philosophy. We start again.
You know what?
Again.
You know who used to, the last, I don't know if it was the last time, you know who used to do that at Tottenham when Jerry Francis was in charge? It was the same tactics from the first team to I think we have reserves, under 21s, whatever. They played the same way. So when you went
the same formation, the same strategy.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I imagine we probably had it maybe under Pochettino as well, because I think that's the last time.
No, we did. We did under Pochettino, we did, but we didn't bring through enough like good youngsters through then. That was the problem.
I agree with the sticking to the formation to a certain extent. I think the second team under 21s I would, but under 18s I want them to be as adaptable as possible. So I don't think sticking them in a formation is gonna be that helpful.
Look, Tommy, that's exactly what Manchester City do though. Man City do that, and look at the youngsters they bring through.
To be fair, at that age they're usually loaning their players out left, right, and centre. But yeah,
Perchie, if they did that, if they said a statement about this 5-year plan or whatever year plan, would you trust them to actually like?
Not under these owners. I'm not on about these owners.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I mean, under these.
More about these. I don't care about these lot because couldn't care less because I don't expect anything from them at the moment.
And I thought you meant
my level. But my point is if what we were just saying, what do you expect from new owners? I just want a plan. I just want somebody to come and say, this is what we're going to do. And we're going to stick by it. Doesn't matter if the manager we get in initially is crap. We're going to get somebody in with the same philosophy, and we're going to keep going. And the 5-year plan is this: if we have to suffer finishing in 15th for 3 seasons in a row, I don't mind as long as we're following a philosophy. Because I'm so bored of the way we play. It's let's get to top 4. We'll rake in all the money, then we'll do crap all season, then get into top 4 again, and then do it recycle
all over again.
That's what we do at the moment.
I have to agree with you, Perchie. I have to agree with you because we've got, if you look at it now, right, we have the facilities to do that even better than what we had before. We've got world-class training facilities. We've got, state-of-the-art, training equipment. Everything you look at the moment is just world-class in terms of
some of the best facilities in the country.
So for any young player coming through at the moment, what a place to come and train.
Exactly.
So you're right. Why can't we have a plan in place? Why can't we say, right, this is the 4 or 5 year plan. We're going to get these players in. We're going to bring some players through the academy. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with what you're saying because what's happening now, we've tried to go down the route of let's get success straight away. Clearly, it's not working with these owners. They want success straight away, but they're not willing to pay the price for it.
See, I don't think
their success is top 4. So yeah, they want.
Yeah, if you want to quantify success, top 4.
Yeah,
but my point is, I think you need to change your ambitions first,
and then we need a philosophy to match the ambitions. I think that's where
I've got no ambitions at the moment with that crap. Honestly, it sounds so negative, but I don't mean it in that. I don't mean it in the sense of being negative. I mean it in the sense that I'm so bored of the way that we are made to believe that there's the brass rings. I've taken all the brass rings now, and there's none there for me to even take. I don't believe it. As I said, if we win the FA Cup this season, that'd be great because do you know what? It'll be something to celebrate. Genuinely, I'll go crazy if we win the FA Cup this season. Honest to God.
I'll go mental as well, to be fair.
Because I don't expect it anymore.
The funny thing is, I say to my mate after every home game when we have a win and all the fans are singing away like they were on Sunday, I always say to my mate, Can you imagine what this lot will be like if we won something? You know, it'd be like
Yeah,
mental.
It's funny that
bender if we win.
you has to be in there with your England shirt because this is all. Do you know when somebody mentions a dream and then it comes back to you? Like I never thought about it before, but I definitely dreamt a couple of days ago, unless it happened, that England won the Euros against Italy and Harry Kane got his trophy. So yeah, you just brought that. I don't know how that's worked, but I wish that was the case because then we'd have more chance of keeping Harry Kane. But
the other way,
it would have been a trophy for us, though.
So Hassan, I want to ask you this: when you and Perchy talk about you want to see a plan, but do you mean when you see a plan, do you want them to release a statement? So we get new owners, do you want them to release a statement and say this is our plan, or do you mean the proof being in the how they enter the transfer market? Or do you want to actually release a statement? Because I don't know how many owners actually release statements with their plan.
Ultimately, I just want more transparency from what the club want to achieve, what the club wants to do. Because yes, we're sitting here, we're talking about the club just wants to want to get top four, make money. That's the plan, this, that, and the other. Nothing's being sort of fed down to us, though. Even when the Tottenham Trust wrote them a letter, we got some stupid response from the club saying, we do this, we do that. It was very vague, okay? But no one's come out and actually said, like the owners or Levy himself hasn't come out and said, look, this is what we're trying to do at the club. We're going to bring a manager in with this philosophy that's going to, stick to the roots of what this football club is about attacking football, about, this, that, and the other. Nothing like that. It's all just been about Levy covering his ass every time he's got something wrong, i.e., again, we're going back to the mistakes he made with Pochettino, the mistakes he made with Jose Mourinho, and what he did to rectify those mistakes, i.e. bringing in Conte when he shouldn't have brought in Nuno in the first place. So it's all been an arse covering exercise for Levy, and he's not been transparent about what he wants to achieve with this club. We just want to see a clear direction, a plan, for someone to come out and say, this is the direction that we want to head in. Because now, as you can see, all season it's created confusion amongst fans. Fans are arguing amongst each other. Yeah, this, yeah, but that, yeah, but this. And it's because no one knows any better what the club want to do. You hire a manager for 18 months and then you're left with really underwhelming transfers. Why are you giving this man an 18-month contract if you're not going to buy, any decent players?
Why give Conte, a man that's in the here and now, that wins titles within 2 years, he changes a club's fortunes with experienced players, and the only experienced players you give him is the guy that's on a free Perisic, because it was announced in January. Not willing to spend £12 million on Malinowski, who is looking at for a while because he's in his 20s. That doesn't fit. You haven't got manager. You're not fitting the philosophy of the manager with the club. We got Conte in for a simple reason. I'm sure I was definitely there. I'm sure Brad and Haz were there. The Levy out chance when Nuno was there changed everything. That's why Conte was employed. Not to win a title. He had to. The fans were fucking furious with the Nuno appointment in the first place, and it went off the rails there.
That's probably why they'll try and get Pochettino back next season when Conte goes.
It will be, but this is why you're right. Pochettino will be the next one in. As I said, I don't necessarily
ask covering again.
I thought he was going to go a whole stream about mentioning Poch. I thought he was going to get.
We've got to talk about it. I don't necessarily want him in, not because I don't think he'll be the right fit, because I genuinely think he'll be the perfect fit, but I don't want him to come back for his own sake, because he knows what it's like to work under these people. So why would you even consider coming back? And
the reason I mentioned that was because I personally think if Conte leaves at the end of the season, it's because of personal reasons rather than anything else. But if he leaves because of football reasons, the crowd, the fans are going to be so much in uproar that I think the Pochettino coming back will be like, oh, look, there's a guy you love, sort of thing. In much the same way as they got Conte after they sacked Nuno.
It's a PR machine, Brad.
Shall I tell you what Levy does? All right. Shall I tell you what Levy does? He gives us the bare minimum to keep people interested. That's how I see it, right?
Yeah, no, you're right.
So obviously you get Mourinho in. Some fans like me were like excited. Yeah, we've got Mourinho finally. Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
What's these
exactly.
shit
And
players.
that was the thing.
And then
I remember
you
that.
sack
I remember
him.
that
You bring
day.
in Nuno, and then
You're
you bring
right.
sack Nuno. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
You know, that day, I remember sitting here watching the Sky Sports News, and the little thing comes up on the yellow screen. Spurs have sacked Pochettino. I was fucking what they done that. Really angry.
Yeah.
And then we wake up next morning. Oh, Mourinho's going to be the new Tottenham manager, and obviously they must have had that signed, sealed, and delivered before they sacked Poch because he can't.
Oh yeah, he always talks.
Yeah, of course.
But I went to work thinking, well, I'm sad that Pochettino's gone, but yeah, Mourinho, he could win us some things, you know. So it got me over that sort of anger, and that's what he does. You're spot on there.
It's psychological manipulation.
Before he nearly won us something, we sacked him 5 days
Yay!
Yeah,
But I mean,
what was happening then, Tommy? What was happening then? The Super League was happening then.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
when they fell out of the Super League. I heard
League
as well.
time, weren't it? That was the greatest time for sacking, weren't it?
But if you look at the whole Pochettino scenario, right? Can you imagine if he was Arteta last season, where you know they were bottom of the league after like 5-6 games? You know, credit to, and I don't like giving Arsenal credit, but credit to the board where it's due for sticking with him. You know what I mean? And actually having a plan.
They had a plan.
That's what I just said. Actually having a plan.
They had a plan. Listen, their fans were all over them as well. And at least, and the only thing I can say with their owners, at least their owners came out and stood up when they were getting a barrage of abuse by their fan base. They came out and said, no, this is what we're going to do. We are sticking with this guy. We're going to follow through, and we're going to buy players for his systems. We're going to buy young, hungry, talented players that can be moulded into this system.
Cool. Bit of breaking news to you guys. Billionaire businessman Sol Campbell, well, that's actually, said he wants to buy Tottenham Hotspur and will give lots of money for players and that. And he wants to make it up.
Where are you reading this rubbish from?
Is it The Sun?
Probably.
This should be a poll. This should be a poll. Who do you want to be the next chair from a new owner, Levy or Campbell? Gosh, that'd be an interesting one.
I'll start the other.
Stick
I'll
with
start
Levy. In that regard, I'll stick with Levy.
I'll start the Phoenix Club up.
Right, we're coming to sort of the final part of the stream now. Please chuck us a like if you haven't already done so, and subscribe, of course. We've got loads of stuff happening. But there was one more thing I wanted to talk about. We discussed the Chelsea game right at the start of the stream. But this in particular, because it was well documented. Son was on the bench, come on, scored, and he was on the bench against Leicester, come on, scored a hat-trick. So with that in mind, Haas, who starts for you on the left Sunday? And I'll chuck some options up because I put a poll out earlier and I forgot about one of the options. So you've got Richarlison, you've got Perisic, who I suppose he could play. If Davies plays left wing back, stays left wing back, put Perisic on the left wing, played there a lot for Inter. One I forgot about was Danjuma. You could put Danjuma in there because I forgot him as a signing, quite frankly. So where would you go? Sonny, Richie, Danjuma, Perisic?
Look, Sonny got his goal the other day. That would have given him some confidence. And for me, on their day, if you look at all of those options, for me, Son is head and shoulders above all of those options. So if his confidence is up, he's doing well in training, I'd go with Son 100%. Every day of the week. Yeah, for me, it's got to be Son for me because look, he's got his goal. Richarlison really didn't show me enough, and I really, truly believe that Richarlison is much better as the main guy in that number 9 role as opposed to Dan, the left or the right wing. So I would go with Son, Kane, Kulu. That'll be my options, top 3. But, you've got to give it to Son, just being able to pull something out of the bag, maybe. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one because Richarlison, didn't show me enough when he come in. And I know people are going to burn me and say, yeah, but he hasn't had enough games and this and that. I get that. But, this is a big game and we need big players. So Son for me.
Perchy, Sonny, Richarlison, or maybe you want to go somewhere else?
I think it's got to be the front 3 that started against West Ham. And for one reason only. Has mentioned it just then. I think you can't not give Richarlison some time here. I think it'd be very harsh to not start him. Yes, Son came on the bench and scored, but he's looked crap all season. Like, the only times he's looked good this season, he's come off the bench against Leicester, and he came off the bench against West Ham. The only 2 games I went, he looked right. I think you start him on the bench and go, do you know what? Let's give Richarlison 5 or 6 games. Listen, if he doesn't go and score 3 or 4 in no space of time, you go, do you know what? I've given you the opportunity. You haven't earned your chance. But we spend a bit of money, big money on this fella. And if he doesn't go out and score, keep scoring goals. And I agree, though, what Has said. He needs to be playing down the middle. But he ain't going to play in front of Kane. So you've got to work up a system where he can play. But I think he has to start personally over Son for now. Listen, give him a few games. Then we'll see.
Brad, where'd you sit? Where'd you sit on the Chelsea left-hand side?
Okay, well, I wasn't... I was fine with Son being on the bench against West Ham. If Richarlison had played better on Sunday, I'd have been okay with the same team out there on Sunday against Chelsea. But he didn't impress me much. But I agree with what Has was saying that he needs more games. But our coaching team don't seem to be wanting to do the rotation with the players they've got. I haven't seen enough of Danjuma. And the other option is obviously Lucas Moura.
And Perisic, of course, because
of course, you could do that. You could do that.
Moura might be gone by the time of the game, by the way. With the reports that he's off to
and people question Perisic's defending. Well, as a left winger, he wouldn't have to defend.
True. Yeah, so, yeah. I mean, I'd love to see. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see I know it won't happen. A 4-2-3-1 with Richarlison up top and Sonny, Kane and Kulusevski behind him. I'd like to see that, but I mean that ain't going to happen because we ain't going to play with a back 4. So yeah, I'd be inclined to keep Sonny in on Sunday.
This is a poll. I was shocked at this. I was shocked at this. And Has, looking at this poll and just the talk in general. I mean, where are you sitting? Are you agreeing with the poll, or
yeah, I'm fully agreeing with the poll. I even did a video on this the other day. For me, you can't really judge a player unless he gets a proper run of games. And due to Son's poor performances all season, especially from the start, because he's only started 20 games and has only scored 1 goal in the Premier League. Yeah. His 4 goals have come off the bench in 2 games. I think he started 4 on the bench. So for me, Richarlison has to start. Obviously, I'd love them to put Kulusevski in the middle and play Richarlison and Kane as a duo. I'd love it to happen, but I guess playing him off the left is better than playing him off the right. Yeah. Changing your question. Yeah, but Richarlison for me any day. I just don't think it's like last time when Son scored against Leicester. Yeah, everyone was like, "Play Son, play Son." He plays for the next 10 games and doesn't score a goal. It's like we're back to square one again. And
yeah,
I think also, so I just want to add something with this goals off the bench. You need to take in context that West Ham were chasing the game, and the game was more stretched. I think even Sterling spoke about this after the game on his presser, and that's when he thought to bring on Son because he could get his goal, and they were more stretched and more spaces on the break. And I think that's quite similar to the Leicester game as well, because obviously Leicester were chasing us to win the game. And I'd place Son on the bench and I'd start Richarlison.
See, personally, Brad, you wanted to say something there? Or...
I was just going to say that.
Espanyol, I saw that, Espanyol. I was going to, do you know what? I was going to put myself.
What's going on here?
Just followed Has.
He was the Pochettino had a spell at Espanyol, didn't he? It was Espanyol.
He did, yeah.
And he was actually.
Well, I got my central district top on. He won 9 out of 11 titles, so I've got a shirt for every one of the titles. Which is good.
You glory hunter.
Yeah. No, they weren't. They took bloody years for they have happened. So
I'm not changing into this. It's
anyway, what I was going to say was Richarlison played really well in the World Cup up top, and they said, that's because he's got Neymar and Rafael and juniors behind him. Well, if he played up top for Tottenham and he had Son, Kane, and Kulusevski behind him, that's not a bad three to have behind you, is it? So yeah, I'd love to see Richarlison play up top, but it ain't going to happen, as I said.
I was just going to say it's controversial to have another British shirt, but I love Celtic, and this is the anniversary Lisbon Lion ones. So a lot. Do you know what? When I was playing football back in the day, that Celtic shirt just looked good.
And did you know, Tommy? You
Society.
probably do know this. They won the European Cup in 1967 with a first 11 of Scottish players.
Yeah,
wow.
I remember hearing that.
Yeah.
Crazy, absolute insanity. But talking to Celtic, Carl Vickers apparently is looking outstanding. I even heard world class at one stage.
What?
I think it's safe to say we're talking about me managing. I would look world class in the Scottish
Yeah,
League,
he's found his level.
in the SFL.
He's found his level like Jack Clark having all this success at Sunderland. He's found his level. It's simple as that.
That's it exactly. That is that's the level.
Guys, can I just quickly say, Ndombele might end up winning Champions League and a league winners medal this season.
Of course, that's what happens when you leave.
I mean, it's a great comment. But have you noticed how many minutes this man has played? He doesn't even play games anymore for him.
He plays on for 10 minutes. Comes on for 10 minutes or something.
But he'll get a medal.
Yeah, I mean, has he burnt out by those 10 minutes? Honestly, that
Probably.
is ridiculous.
But I don't know what the statistic. I don't know where it stands now. But the amount of players that have left Spurs and gone on to win trophies.
Shall I tell you something funny?
I'm pretty sure Trippier was like 85 or something when he won La Liga with Atletico Madrid. So God knows where it is.
Well,
now.
it all goes down to the World Cup final. Who was in the World Cup final squad? What's his name? The Argentinian we used to have. I can't remember his name. Young lad.
Oh,
Foyth.
Foyth, yeah.
Honestly, why did we let him go? He would have been perfect in the system.
But you know, Bale. Yeah, sorry.
Go on, Naz, go on.
Yeah, you know, Bale when he left Tottenham, he won a trophy every season apart from the season he was alone at Tottenham. That's how cursed we are.
But by all accounts, does that mean that Tottenham nurture the best talent that go on to win stuff?
No, what it does mean is we mismanage players continuously. Is what it does mean.
No,
I
mean,
I like the positive spin on it.
All jokes aside, though,
isn't it? At the end of it, it's a stat. You know, if you don't win a trophy in 20 years, then obviously the chances of players leaving you and winning trophies are going to be higher than if you win a trophy every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, of course.
See Modric play tonight. I don't know if anyone watched the Liverpool game, but Modric, my God, the guy is like going on 38, and the way he played tonight it's mind-boggling. Honestly,
he's 38. He's still the best football player in the world.
that midfield. He's absolutely boss in that midfield. Honestly, imagine if we were a successful club and we kept him on at Spurs.
Oh my God.
I mean, blimey.
We're crying out for a midfielder that can play as good as him. He's insane.
I think we're crying out for that type of midfielder as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about. Just someone that can do something with it.
A deep, creative midfielder that can ping the ball about. And I agree. Højbjerg, somebody mentioned Højbjerg earlier, and he played a couple of decent balls against West Ham and stuff. And I like Højbjerg. I think he's a fantastic player, but he's not that deep, creative 30, 35-yard passer.
He's not Modric.
And some people are saying he's creative. No, he's not. He's not that creative. He's creative against West Ham, but I don't think we need some more creation in there. Even Huddleston used to do the job. Like we could have used someone like Huddleston.
That world
His passing was incredible, man.
The 35-yard pings, obviously we've had some great ones in the past before. Glenn Hoddle was just an absolute master, unfortunately. But we need that deep creative midfield. We did have options to sign one last summer. We had Brozovic available. James Ward-Prowse, it would have cost a lot of money because he signed a new contract the year previously. And a set-piece taker, Ward-Prowse ticked all the boxes for me.
I'd say
not me.
I'd have had him in.
A year and a half ago, when Aston Villa bid £30 million, they bid £30 million for Prowse and got rejected. £30 million.
I think Maddison's the guy for me anyway. If we're
now he's worth 70. He's worth double that now. He would have been perfect. Brozovic, Frankie de Jong would be a dream, but he's an unbelievably good, deep, creative midfielder. That's for me what we wanted, and that's why I think Bissouma's a fantastic player. But I felt last summer, if we sign Bissouma, we're not going to get a creative midfielder in, which we're crying out for. So once we signed Bissouma, I knew that wasn't going to happen. So I was a little bit deflated, to be honest with you. Not because Bissouma's not a great signing. It's a similar rhetoric to the celebrating at West Ham. Of course we should celebrate, and of course Bissouma is a good player, but it's going to show our level. We needed more. We need more. So that's a problem. And I have to take your word for how well Modric has played, but I'm not surprised. He did Jimmy Anderson.
Didn't Conte use
Tommy? Watch the highlights. You'll be incredibly impressed. I'll watch the first
doesn't surprise me.
highlights.
Is he still playing for Croatia as well? He's had like 150, like Lloris had 150.
That's not
He's still playing for Croatia as well. Incredible. But finally, my take on the whole Son situation is, again, very divisive. That's what we like. It's great to have this debate. I'm Son because he comes on and scores. he's had a week and a half rest. He's had 10 days rest, and he's come off the bench. And in the time he was on the pitch, he done a job. He was fantastic. And going back to what Brad said, most importantly, Richarlison didn't take his chance in the first half. He was really poor. He wasn't just bad. He was really poor against West Ham side. He needs a chance. He deserves a chance, and he deserved a chance earlier on in the season, Richarlison. But right now, for Chelsea, I'm going with Son. If my life depended on it, I'm going with Son. But it's up for debate, and I think there's a very divisive matter. Right, we're coming to the most special part of the stream right now. Last half an hour, we're going a cop from the top. Notes. I've got a little few notes down, so I haven't been doing too many of the not the 9 o'clock newses, to be honest with you. It's like 1 week on, 1 week off. But I think we got 3 winners. We got Brad. We got Barry.
I've won it as well.
Have you?
Yeah, I've won it once before. First time I played it, I won it.
What, this season?
Yeah, this season.
Are you sure?
I'm thinking.
I'll go back to stream.
Wow.
Yeah, look back on your streams.
Right. So Brad's
VAR.
Brad's got 70p. So I'll do it by the prizes because I know by the prizes. So Brad's got 70p. Nick's got half a cricket bat. Barry.
I didn't get anything. I just got. No, actually, I just got questioned. I got questioned whether I cheated or not.
Oh, who got a hat? Who got a hat? Thiago got the hat. Thiago got the hat. So the other winner was Thiago. The other winner was Thiago.
Yeah, Thiago did win.
You got Lance Armstrong, didn't you? And it was incorrect, but it's actually correct.
Yeah, Thiago's at a festival today. I did ask Thiago earlier, but he's at a Brazilian festival. So, yeah, big up with Thiago. I'm sure he's having a great time.
Sounds
right,
nice, actually.
Okay. If you haven't seen this before, pretty straightforward. Let's put this up. I've got to try and get the visual out. Got a lot of visuals today. So right, this is the new format. This is the format if you're new to Cop from the Top. Each guest picks a category, 3 questions in each category, 2 points for a correct answer unless specified from me. Only 3 questions, but not ones one or two you probably wouldn't expect. Brad, I think you're the most recent winner. You're the only winner on the panel, so I'm going to let you choose first. I'm going to let you choose first.
Oh, damn. What do? I made the wrong decision last week, didn't I? I will go with. Well, that could be a bit dodgy, couldn't it? I'll go with. Let's go with Choc Lily White. Don't ask me why.
Chocolate Lily White. Brad's done this more than anyone, so he knows he really got to think about the category. So I'm not going to announce what the prizes are this week. I will announce it next week because it's something extremely special.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right. Right. Chocolate Lily White. Here we go. Question 1. How many clubs have Big Sam Allardyce, Antonio Conte, and Roy Hodgson managed combined?
Wow.
You can be 3 out. You can be 3 out either way. So combined, Sam Allardyce, Conte, Roy Hodgson.
Okay.
How many? I'll give you 10 seconds to think about this. Usually 5. I'll give you 10 seconds. You can be 3 out either way.
Roy Hodgson. I'll go with 24.
24. Okay. And this is not counting caretaker jobs, by the way. So you're going 24. Boys, what would everybody else have said?
I would have said 15.
It's way more than 15. I'm going to go. I'm just trying to think because I think Ken Allardyce has been at a few. So I'm going to say 25.
So you'd say what Brad said.
It's around that, yeah, I think.
What would you have said?
I'm going to say about 20.
I can assure you all well off. It's 35.
What?
I knew it was lots.
And this is that's just clubs. That's just clubs. So you've got Allardyce's 10, Conte's 8, Hodgson's 17. 17.
Hodgson 17.
Yeah,
Wow.
I knew Hodgson. I didn't get Hodgson's amount, but
to be fair, I think 6 of those were like Scandinavian. He managed Inter for a season as well. He managed Inter Milan for a season.
Yeah.
So
he managed loads of things.
and separate from that, he's managed 4 countries too, Hodgson. So he's had 21 jobs altogether.
England job.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Incredible. Right. Okay. Question 2. What does the SAS stand for?
Oh no, this is a typical cop from the top question. So I'm gonna say, and I know I should be saying what everyone thinks it is. I'm gonna go with Shearer and Sheringham.
Shearer and Sheringham. That's a great answer. That's a great answer. But this was a normal question, man. I was looking for special air service. I was looking for special air service.
I can't believe it.
Oh my days!
I thought if I say that, it's gonna be something stupid. Like,
oh man,
oh no, that was a
you got
QI
beaten
moment
because you played this too often. You got beaten because you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. Question 3. We always have a Spurs-related question.
Which I thought that was it.
Here we go.
Well, actually, it wasn't.
What
really,
is
was
the? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it could be just in the answer.
England question? Yeah.
We've become accustomed to that over the year or so. What is the official snack partner of Tottenham Hotspur? The official snack partner. This is official.
Easy.
Oh, yeah, you say it's easy, but
Oh yeah, this should be. I think I know this.
This is on the. This is on the Spurs website as well. Like when you look for tickets
I know
everywhere.
this one.
It's everywhere.
oh, I don't know, Cadbury's.
Well, yeah, that's a great guess because it's Cadbury's.
Yeah,
It's Cadbury's.
Yeah.
How have you done that? How have you done that? That's crazy. What do you reckon he's got here? What do you reckon he's got in here? There's something in there.
It's got to be a
I'm
Cadbury's
saying
whisper in it.
If I ever get him on the stream, I'll ask him. I reckon it's crunchy. I'd say crunchy. It's the best.
Oh, so I actually got 2 points.
Oh,
Hey.
He got 2. He wasn't expecting 2 there. So Brad
No.
Scott, he's on the board. He's on. Right, Haas. Next up, my friend. Obviously, you can't choose Chop Lily White, Zé Romero, Cheesy Harry, Posh Feet, or the Island.
It's gotta be Cheesy Harry.
Cheesy Harry. Not Dirty Harry, Cheesy Harry.
Cheesy Harry.
Right, this is a rare category because there are 2 Spurs questions here out of the 3. Question 1. We beat West Ham 3-1 at home last season. Which defender of theirs scored an own goal?
Dawson.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Does anybody know?
No, I can't remember.
It was Kurt Zuma, wasn't it?
Brad?
I think.
Yeah, Zuma,
It was the
Yeah,
cat.
cat killer.
It was the
Cat-
cat
Ah.
cat lover.
The cat kicker.
Zuma.
Yeah.
So, question 2. What kind of cheese is made backwards?
Sorry, that's my chair.
What kind of cheese is made backwards?
Is made backwards. Edam cheese.
Oh, you got it, man. You got it. Did you know that? Or
I
was
did
that
know it.
Okay.
Really? Why? How's it made backwards?
Yeah, how does that make any sense?
Spell backwards.
I'll explain to you after the
Spell
stream how I
made
know that.
backwards.
Oh, made.
Oh,
Yeah,
made.
made. Yeah.
What kind of
It's
cheese
made.
is
It's
made
made. Yeah.
backwards?
Eden backwards is made, isn't it? What cheese is
Oh,
made? Yeah.
my god.
Oh, so easy, really, when you.
Right. Okay. Question 3. Another Spurs one. Unfortunately, has his on 0 point thus far.
Who, me?
He's got 2 points.
Yeah, you got Eden.
Got
Oh,
2
right.
right.
What am I talking?
I know you got 1 right. Got 1 right. Yeah.
You're trying to do me dirty
I'll
again.
just,
See that?
Nah, he's been
I'll just take random points away as well. You'll learn that. But no, question 3. This is another Spurs one. Harry Redknapp took 4 players from Pompey to Spurs. Who were they? Now, if you get, so there's 4 players. If you get 3, you get a point. If you get 4, you get 2 points. If you get 3, you get a point. If you get 4, you get 2 points. So, yeah, what is the answer? 4 Pompey players he took to Spurs.
I think I've got all 4.
First one, Crancher.
Yes?
Second one, I'm not sure if hold on, what's his name? Was Cabal there? Can't remember. No, I don't think Cabal was there. We didn't get him from Portsmouth. Why did we ring? Shit.
Right, I'm giving you 10 seconds. Harry, who did he take from Pompey?
You're asking me? Yeah.
No.
The
It's
phone.
not your question.
No, Harry is in Harry Redknapp.
Oh, right. You said
I
Harry.
can't remember.
Harry's
Anyone I
man.
can remember is
I'm
Cranchar.
going to have a guess.
Cranchar.
I know three.
Right.
Can I ever go? I think I've got them.
Go on, Perchy. What was you going to say?
I'm going to say
What would you say?
Cranchar, Cabal, Defoe, Crouch.
Yeah, I'd have gone with
Yep,
that.
yeah,
Correct.
yep. Those
Is that
are
it?
four.
Cabal, I
Yeah.
said Cabal as well.
Shit. When I put this question up, I've completely forgot about Crouch. I was going to put only 3.
Yeah.
So, no, Crouch was in there as well. Completely forgot about Crouch.
He grabbed
Do I get
both,
2
didn't
points?
he? Crouch
So
and
we had
Crouch.
one.
Yeah.
Now, of course, you're missing. You are missing Cabal. He wasn't the most popular, was he? But you're missing Cabal.
Cabal was
Yeah,
really
I
good.
had to.
though.
No, there was 4 Haas. I'm afraid you get 0 points. Right, Perchy, up, losing your virginity and cock from the top. People, 20 people in the chat, please make sure you smash a like. Get us up to, I think, 25 likes. Last time I looked, we were on about 18. 25 likes, that'd be fantastic. So please do that. Perchy, you obviously can't choose Cheesy Harry, can't choose Chocolate Lee White. What are you going with, my friend?
There's got to be one for me. It's the island. Dun, 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 dun. Love Island. Let's go.
The island.
That's the love.
You've got a great
I'm going with
chance.
the island.
You've got a great chance here because obviously
That's the one I was going to
sitting
pick.
on 2. Brad is sitting on 2. You've got 2 choices, man. You've got 2 choices. So the island. Okay. Jennifer Aniston is half American and half what other nationality? And I'll give you a clue. I'll give you a clue. It's Mediterranean. I'll give you a clue. It's Mediterranean. Mediterranean country.
I wouldn't have a foggiest here. Mediterranean, so I'm going to say Greek.
You
I
got it.
wouldn't have a clue.
Correct.
Well done.
It's
well
actually.
done, well done,
Let's
well
go.
done.
The guesses have been good tonight. I'm making these 2 fucking easy. And this changing next week. The guesses have been good. Perchy, 2 out of 2 so far. Wow.
Go for it.
But no, her real name is Joanna Anastasakis. Joanna Anastasakis.
Anastasakis. Yeah.
I was not aware of that. I only saw that because I watched the
I
2
know, I knew she
Ferns.
was Greek because as you said that question, I knew straight away. So I was like,
I only knew that because I watched the 2 Ferns the other day and Zach Galifianakis was taking a piss out of her. And he mentioned that. And I was like, oh, really? I wasn't aware. So 2 points for Perchy. Question 2. Son Heung-Min's mum was born and raised in which European country and city? You get a point for each if you get it right.
Ooh, that's a great question. I want to say Germany, and I want to
Okay, you're gonna go
say
Germany.
Hamburg.
You're going to go with Germany and Hamburg. That's
What do you think
incorrect.
he
It's
played?
actually so she
Can
was born and
can I
raised
guess?
in yeah. Go on.
I'll guess the country. Switzerland.
No. It's
Italy?
so Son Heung-Min's mum was born and raised in which European country and city? I can confirm it was Glasgow in Scotland. Here's the proof.
Oh, well.
Oh wow.
Fair play.
How's that proof?
Yeah,
It's like
really-
picture of
that's-
Glasgow.
that's-
Does that mean there's a Texaco there? That's
There is the proof. There is.
That's good.
Well, you know what? I don't know if anyone's seen the Sonaldo documentary.
Yeah.
You don't have him hardly any mention of his mum in that, do you? It's all about
It's
his
always
dad.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it mum and
this
dad
is
still
true.
together?
Well, that's why I was wondering whether they were or.
I'm waiting for someone in the chat to say Son's mum wasn't born in Glasgow in Scotland, but I'm sure that will happen. Right, question 3. Who was David Moyes' previous managerial job to Everton? It was his first managerial job as well.
Oh,
Previous
great
managerial job to
question.
Everton.
Before we
First
went to Everton, there's one that's shouting out, but it's probably wrong. But I want to say Preston North End.
Bosh. Yes.
Was it?
Preston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for Perchy.
Wow,
Quiz
that was
master.
good.
Yeah,
Quiz
Preston.
master. He played quite a few games. I think he played like 250 games for Preston, then went straight into management
Yeah.
with them. So I think that's how it came about. Yeah, I missed that, Danny. It's a carnival in Rio de Janeiro. I wasn't aware. But, yeah,
The biggest carnival in the world.
nobody mentioned it in the panel, so I wasn't the only one that missed it. Right, finally, you got a tough one, man. You got to get all 3.
Yeah.
Be right, basically.
I don't normally get any of them right. So.
Yeah, you've never won one, have you?
No.
Posh Feet or Z Romero?
Romero.
Is it Romero? It is. Right. As you probably were aware, a Romero question is going to come up, and we've got it up first. Name Romero's 2 previous Italian clubs before Atalanta. So, Romero's 2 previous Italian clubs. You get a point for each.
Juventus.
Correct.
Yeah, that's one of them. Like Barry or something.
Is that what you're going with?
Barry. Well, Wales.
Barry's not here today, but I'll send him the message. No,
what's the other one?
Anybody else know?
You said Bari, isn't it? Rather than Barry.
Bari, yeah.
I don't think it was Bari.
Bari.
Cagliari?
No, it was Genoa. It was Genoa.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, you must have seen a red and blue shirt.
I was trying to think of the. I knew it was red and blue. I was trying to think of what team played in them. There's a few of them.
You still get a point, so that means because you got a point in there, Haas. If you get these 2 right, you've won. You'll be on 5 points. That's
I'm just grateful I got a point.
That's math skills right there.
Yeah.
Can you name this cake / biscuit?
Gingerbread. It's gingerbread man.
Gingerbread man. That's incorrect. It's a gingerbread person now. It's 2022.
Yes, exactly.
There we go. That's more like top of the top.
Let's go.
It's the gingerbread person. It's a bin person. The list is ended, so I'm afraid you get 0 points there.
The gingerbread then.
Perchy's won his first ever quiz. But finally,
gingerbread then.
question 3. And finally, question 3. Name the German club Man City paid £55 million for Kevin De Bruyne.
Wolfsburg.
£55 million in 2015. Which club was it, Haas?
Yeah, Wolfsburg.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Bit of an easy one.
I should have got the last one. That's correct. Gingerbread man.
No, it's not.
Correct.
It's a gingerbread them or a gingerbread person.
Yep, this is true.
It's
true. It was on the
Sam
list.
Smith told me it's a gingerbread them.
Them.
Oh, Fisher. Yeah, Fisher. Oh, mate, Fisher them. Fuck. Yeah, no.
What?
It's like a W. He's actually. Wait, you've not seen it?
Just leave it there. Leave it. You will get cancelled. You will get cancelled.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah. Just type in Sam Smith fisherman and you'll see.
All right.
Okay. No, don't.
Gingerbread biscuit, actually.
Yeah, gingerbread biscuit.
Yeah, you could have. Yeah, I suppose I could have given you that.
In the shape of a dem. That's it.
So you can't cancel at the end of the show, can they?
Right. I think we're gonna wrap things up there. That's a wrap. I hope everyone's had a good night. I hope everyone's had their pancakes. Big thanks to those who are viewing, whether as I say you're watching live now or on the recording. Before we get everyone plugged, please make sure if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like, and chaps, as I said, plug away. Haas, starting with you, plug away, my friend.
Everybody should know by now. You can catch us on Southview COYS, View from the South Stand, formerly. Check us out on YouTube. We do all the match reactions, myself and Marlon. After every game, we get some fans on, we get some panelists on, and we discuss the game straight after. Next one is this Sunday against Chelsea. So make sure you tune in for that one. Should be around about 8 o'clock in the evening. And we should have 3 or 4 panelists on the show. But yeah, smash a like on our page, subscribe, do whatever you have to do. Help us out. But yeah, every match, home, away, European, we're there.
Right, Perchy, anything you need plug in, my friend?
Not really. Just follow me on Twitter.
Just follow the Perch on Twitter. If you're probably already following the Perch on Twitter.
Probably do.
That's
That's really it.
Do you still do spaces, Perchy, or not? I've been on there.
Nah, I just jump in on the odd occasion. I'm too busy nowadays.
Oh, fair enough.
But I'm debating to start a YouTube channel, by the way. There is groundwork maybe being built, so we'll watch this space.
Definitely do it, Perch. Definitely do it. That is the usual. That's the way things go. You're a guest for a while, and then you get the
And just start
creating. You get the creating sort of juices flowing. So yeah, man, you should do it. That'd be good. Brad. You're all over the YouTube Spurs YouTube.
Yeah, if you want to,
you have your own channel.
If you want to hear me talking bollocks about football, you can find me on this show, RS Hotspur Fan Show. El Talk Tottenham, and various other shows. In the Wall on Saturday night on Bobspur TV normally. But if you want to hear some bollocks music, then please go over to Blue Sofa Songs, where I try and get a song up every 2 weeks. Basically, I'm a songwriter, play a bit of guitar, and they're my lyrics, they're my music. It's all me, and you might get a crazy video as well if you look. Depends how much time I have, but please go on there, have a look, see what you reckon. Click like, subscribe, hit notification bell, put a nice comment or any sort of advice in there if you want. But I'm up to 135 subscribers now. There's a song on there that's in a music competition, songwriting competition, which I'll find out in April or May how it does. But please do that, and click like and subscribe to these other guys, and also the one that has there would donate to this Red Cross Turkey as well, because that's
absolutely.
Yeah, they've just had another earthquake there. I'll say luckily, but only I think 6 or 7 people have been killed, so hopefully not as bad as what the original one was. But it's a good cause. Absolutely,
it is an absolute nightmare out there. And has before you get cancelled, you might not even have a channel.
Yeah. Please go subscribe to my channel at Hotspur TV. Yeah, my next stream is going to be on Thursday at 6 o'clock. So I've got at least 1 or 2 Chelsea fans coming on, because obviously we've got the game on Sunday. I should have another guest on anyway, but if any of you guys want to come on, you're more than welcome. So we'll go preview the game, and you can find me on other streams as well. I'm over here a lot. Sometimes I'm on just other random streams, really. So it just depends what happens.
Again,
I'm on Haskins a lot.
You've got quite a big.
I'm on CAFU COYS a lot.
A big Twitter following as well. So
yeah.
Follow Haz on Twitter. You'll find everything he's up to, and
I'm only about leaving
on Twitter as well. So just follow him on Twitter too. Right, peace out, everyone. Stay safe, stay free, and stay classy, Lily Whites. Come on, you Spurs. Chelsea next. Let's do it.